Click on the subscribe button, and press the bell icon, to never miss any updates.
In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. It's so cold. I would like to start by thanking the organizers, fellow guest speakers, volunteers, and my dear brothers and sisters who came to show support to World Hijab Day today. Thank you all so much for coming. It's so cold. A wise person once said, if you do not stand for something, you will fall for anything. We are living in a time where standing for something is like holding a hot coal in your hand. The world might go against you, including your loved ones. In the process, you might become a total stranger to others. By standing for something you truly believe in, never matter more than now. As for me, holding on to this piece of fabric on my head called hijab never mattered more. Let me tell you why it matters. This hijab embodies the years of journey I have been through to stand in front of all of you at this very moment. Some of the journey included happy moments, sad moments, and empowering moments. If you look deep into the blueprint of this hijab, you will find a person just like everyone else. A person who wanted to be accepted for who she was. But that only came with a price of being attacked physically, verbally, and emotionally. Let me take you to my journey back to 1994. I was only 11 years old when I first immigrated to New York City from Bangladesh. After I was picked up from JFK Airport, I was given a room to stay with a twin-size bed to be shared with 6 members of my family. Buying a slice of pizza was a luxury item. My dad took a job to sell newspapers on the street of Forum Road for 25 cents per hour so he can rent a bigger place for his family. A few months later, my dad was able to rent a 1-bedroom apartment for $600. We were never happier. I was happy to share the floor with 6 other siblings where I can finally stretch my legs. However, we did not come to America for a vacation, but getting a better education was the main reason why my parents left everything behind and brought me and my siblings to America. Dad didn't know how to enroll us or anything about the school system, so he asked someone to help him enroll us in school. I was enrolled in 6th grade. I was extremely nervous, and rightly so. I was the only student who wore the headscarf and did not speak a word of English. But understanding how others treated you did not require you to know the language. It all came down to feelings. I felt every subtle stare, cold shoulder, whisper, and laughter behind my back. Slowly but surely, the abuse became physical. Now I was being shoved against the lockers and threatened to have my hijab taken off. I was very scared, but I still held on to my hijab. Why? Because this hijab embodied the person I had become. It was the flag of my blessed identity of being a Muslim woman, which I was so proud of. This hijab kept me grounded as it constantly reminded me of my responsibility as a Muslim woman to those around me. This hijab reminded me to watch what I said to others. This hijab reminded me to be extra nice and polite to people and be humble. But most importantly, this hijab served as a reminder to my connection to my Creator, to whom I will return. However, the abuse took on a different height after 9/11. Now I was being chased in the street of New York City for being visibly a Muslim woman. Being a teenager, I was terrified. I forgot to stand for something and acted on my fear. So one day, I decided to take off my hijab on my way to college. As I was going up the escalator of Hunter College with my maxi skirt and a blue turtleneck sweater, I literally felt dead inside. Everything in front of me froze. I felt like a fish out of water. I felt like I lost my own identity. At that very moment, I told myself, I will never give up my hijab, regardless what comes on my way. Discrimination followed for many years afterwards. The more I faced with judgment for being who I was, the more tightly I held on to my hijab. But this time, holding on to my hijab meant more valuable and dear to me than ever before. You know the feeling when you love something so much, but it got lost for a while, but you learn to appreciate it even more once you find it. That feeling of finding your own identity, which you are so sure of and proud of. My dearest brothers and sisters, we can let our life's experience shatter us, or we can make them stronger. I decided to do the latter. I decided to stand for something I truly believed in. I decided I no longer wanted another sister to go through what I went through, simply because she decided to follow her faith. I decided to shed light on those women who are discriminated worldwide simply because they choose to wear the hijab. Especially, I no longer wanted to see my sisters from being prevented from taking exam for refusing to remove their hijab in India and Nigeria. I no longer wanted to see sisters having to choose between their hijab and career or job in Singapore. I no longer wanted to see my sisters hear racist Islamophobic remarks while having a family meal at a restaurant in England. I no longer wanted to see my mothers being physically attacked while strolling their children in the streets of Brooklyn. So I decided I no longer wanted to stay quiet and take the abuse for myself and my sisters. So on February 1st of 2013, I asked sisters in humanity to wear the hijab and walk a mile in my shoes. I thought by experiencing the hijab, perhaps sisters will see that I am no different from them, and this piece of fabric does not cause any threat to others. I was hoping they would get to see the beauty and the struggles behind the hijab. Maybe they would also have a chance to better understand the hijab in order to clear any misconceptions or stereotypes. Alhamdulillah, praise be to Allah. So Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
The response was overwhelming. Sisters from all walks of life, from every corner of the world, heard my call and supported my movement of World Hijab Day. I am so happy to announce that World Hijab Day today is celebrated by people in estimated of 190 countries. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Organizers, volunteers, and World Hijab Day ambassadors have taken this humble movement of mine as their own and host World Hijab Day events just like this one to educate, engage, and inspire the public at large. These events include but not limited to Hijab Awareness Walk in Liberia, organized by the outstanding World Hijab Ambassador who is present here, Brother Osman Fofana and his amazing team. Theatrical play in Trinidad and Tobago, interfaith dialogue at a church in New York, non-Muslim politicians experiencing the hijab at the parliaments of Philippines, England and Scotland, and my personal favorite, a non-Muslim fourth grader educating her classmates about the hijab in Canada. With the political and social climate today, we need a movement that will unite us instead of divide us based on ignorant rhetoric. Only when we walk in the shoes of others, we will truly understand and appreciate their values and struggles. My hope for World Hijab Day that it will only promote peace, tolerance, and coexistence, which our world is in desperate need of. Thank you all so much for coming. It is extremely cold. I really appreciate your support. Thank you so much.
ITV, Call of Peace, Save Humanity.